Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, oh man, we've got a ton of wrestling news, including more on. Can I say? God damn! I keep wanting to push it, man. You keep wanting to push it. Vince McMahon isn't coming back to TKO. God damn it. Also, backstage details on the entirety of that awesome Sting retirement match, including Darby Allin's insane bump off the ladder. We've got a new group that has taken in one Jack Perry to their fold, and it's honestly perfect.
It's both the best and worst option.
Absolutely. Also, a brand new Dynamite tonight, including a brand new stage and brand new graphics. We're going to talk about that.
Maybe a brand new superstar on the roster tonight.
Ooh, that's right, because it's the Hotlanta show tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I won't spoil anything. The information's out there if you want to see it, but there could be someone debuting at Dynamite tonight. It's probably pretty easy to figure out who it could be. But
let me ask you this, Larson, is it raining in Atlanta today?
We checked the forecast. I myself am not one to make rain, so I can't guarantee it's going to rain.
Oh, hey, what's this, Larson? What's this?
That's money.
That's a coin.
That's a coin. Oh, coin drop, I heard.
We're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about TKO insisting that Vince McMahon is not coming back. So TKO COO, that's Chief Operations Officer, Mark Shapiro, I think so. Mark Shapiro spoke at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference today. Sounds like a big collection of nerds, and some probably rich nerds, and spoke about Vince McMahon recently selling a sizable portion of his shares in the company. He sold, it says right here. So these transcripts come to you via Fightful. He said this: "We did not participate in the recent sale on Vince McMahon's load that he dropped off." Is a full load. This is now his second time. He's gone from 28 million shares to 15 million shares. He now roughly has 8.5%. We're not in conversation with him. We don't talk to him. We don't know his motive, his plan, his timeline. What, if any, he doesn't consult with us. He doesn't work for the company. He doesn't work at the company. He doesn't come into the offices. He's not coming back to the company. He is done, Larson. He is done. End quote. Steve now saying he's done.
Done.
He's gone.
Gone.
And
done.
Don't come back, Vince.
Yeah. I mean, given what happened the last time Vince resigned, then forced his way back in. However unlikely that's the same scenario playing out now in TKO, since he doesn't have the same degree of power. It's Vince. The worry's to a degree still there. You know what I mean? The concern to a degree is still there, that he could find somehow, again, however unlikely it could be, a means to come back. As of now, it seems like we got a high-ranking executive here in TKO saying, no, he's gone, not coming back, gone, and gone.
I get it. I get it. He's Vince McMahon. He was the Thanos of the wrestling industry for decades upon decades. I get it. This wouldn't be the first time that somebody in his position of vast power was actually held accountable. It's happened. I understand that it's sometimes the pessimistic angle is, man, dudes like Vince are often able to get away with whatever they want to. And for decades he did. Mm-hmm. However, in this situation, it'd be really shocking if he found some way to get back.
Absolutely.
So for some context, after the TKO deal went down, he held about 16% of the company stock. At this point, as Mark Shapiro said, he's at about 8.5%. So he's nearly halved his power in the company because, with the shares comes the power. His first round of sell-offs of stock selling off brought him down to about 12% from that initial 16. This brings him to between 8 and 9. So
it doesn't necessarily seem like someone who's angling to try to come back.
As you mentioned, that's absolutely right. As you mentioned yesterday, there is maybe some sort of, I didn't look at the exact dates here, but there might be, some amount of strategy in basically, getting rid of all this stock, be it, capital gains, some tax situation that would make it, better for him to do it in waves. Maybe there's some, legal documentation within his deal that states he can't do it all in one big go.
Because doing it all in one foul swoop would, affect the stock price overall. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Adversely.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like it's just likely that he is at the pace he is legally allowed to get rid of it all and be done with it because he doesn't see any way back. Maybe that's optimistic thinking on my part, but I kind of feel like the evidence might suggest that it's there. If he was interested or thought that there was any idea that there would be a power play, stocks would be involved, like obtaining more stock would be involved in that. And unless there was some monumentally drastic situation where TKO became insolvent or something like that, I guess that possibility exists. But at this point, it doesn't seem very likely.
It doesn't seem likely, and it's I don't know what the word is, but again, Mark Shapiro, a high-ranking executive in TKO, saying definitively he's done, he's gone, he's not coming back.
Yeah. Let's talk about the actual programming because Shapiro also mentioned how conversations between WWE and Netflix began to bring Raw to their streaming platform. And again, these transcripts are coming to you via Fightful. When we met with Netflix, Apple, and other streaming platforms, the conversation always started with, when are the premium live events up? When we met on Raw, always started with that. We're not here to talk about the PLVs. We are in the sense that it's part of the narrative. When you watch Raw and SmackDown, things weave in and out of the PLEs. It's an important part of the narrative concept. Why wouldn't Netflix be there? Let's just get out of the gate with Raw strong. We have time. Let's see how that partnership goes and that marketing delivers and the viewership shows up and we're monetizing it from a sponsorship, consumer product, site fee standpoint. And then we'll talk about where it goes if it doesn't go back to Peacock. We're patient, and that has bode well for us. We had a lot of pressure when we announced the SmackDown deal. Market was freaking out. Raw, NXT, why didn't they announce it? They don't have anybody. There's no demand. There was pressure, but we said we were going to be patient, and it was going to work in our favor. It over-delivered on our expectations. Never did I think Netflix was coming in, not in my wildest dreams. When we first started talking to Netflix, it was frankly about NXT. It wasn't even about Raw. That just turned into a bigger conversation. Then the Raw conversation became a global conversation.
That's interesting that it all started, at least the talks with Netflix, revolving around NXT and not so much, one of WWE's flagship shows.
Yeah. You gotta wonder if it's sort of, this is why people like Nick Khan get paid the money that he gets paid. Is because of relationships and his ability to talk to people in a way that would convince them, hey, we're coming here to talk about NXT. Well, he could probably talk that product up so well. Then they got to thinking, well, why are we stopping there? Why don't we talk about Raw? Why don't we talk about, the big thing? And then apparently they got to talking about the actual pay-per-views or the premium live events. And it does seem like this relationship with Netflix seems to be on very enthusiastic, solid ground.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't shock me to see the premium live events move over to Netflix. On the other hand, you got to think Peacock they've got to value those premium live events. I mean, everything we've heard about them is that they perform very, very well.
Yeah. So it's been great for Peacock. Absolutely. Yeah.
The idea is, you just drive the price up for the premium live event and the network library deal for when that comes around. I forgot what the deal was for Peacock. I know it Was it like $1 billion for 5 years or something like that?
Maybe. I don't remember exactly.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a ton of money.
So, the idea is, hey, let's get, even more. Let's get a multiplier for the premium live events. And that's just money on top of money on top of money on top of money.
Exactly. And there's something to be said. I understand it. There's a certain amount of sound strategy you would think of diversifying where your product is. 'Cause then you have multiple platforms by which people can view your content. At the same time, for a consumer standpoint, it's kind of nice to have as much as possible under one umbrella.
I agree.
So if it's a situation where when the Peacock deal expires, yes, I'm sure WWE will angle to the best of their ability, or TKO, I should say, to maximize the value of the next deal. But if everything falls on Netflix and, they increase the value of that deal from $5 billion to shoot 7, 8, just throwing numbers out there, to bring over PLEs plus the catalog of content already on Peacock that was on the WWE network. From a wrestling fan vantage point, well, hell, all I got to do is have Netflix now. I can get it all there.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have Netflix and Peacock. And who knows what else in terms of streaming platforms to get the content that I want to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, bottom line is going to be whoever gives them the largest deal is what they're going to go with. But
in terms of broad narratives in the digital streaming world, I just did a Google News search for Netflix, and 10 hours ago, there's a Los Angeles Times headline that says how Netflix won the streaming wars. So in terms of what their perception is in the broader, there's all this talk about different streaming services, Peacock and Paramount.
Merging maybe, yeah.
Yeah, merging. And they're all sort of trying. The one that I haven't really heard of trying to merge with anybody is Netflix. You know what I mean? Well, Amazon Prime too. Mm-hmm. But all the other, streaming services seem to be angling, as much as I love Apple TV, I know there was some talk about Apple and I want to say Paramount merging as well. I forget what it was. It was Apple and something.
Interesting. You think with all the Apple money behind Apple TV, that's like a relatively small line item on their overall budget compared to some of the other stuff they're making money on. So
yeah, and honestly, dude, who knows how much veracity that was? I probably saw it on. Is that
on Wrestling News Now? You saw that?
Oh no, it is. Here it is. New York.
There you go. He didn't imagine it.
Tech Radar, New York Post. Who has this?
I've heard of Tech Radar, yeah.
And it was Apple TV Plus and Paramount Plus reportedly discussing cheap bundle plan to take on Netflix. That was in December. Who knows if that is actually going to come to pass? Yeah. But given that there are discussions out there, and Netflix is number one, they got that Stranger Things money, Larson.
They do. Yeah. And some of these streaming services, they start out their operations and they got the good affordable rate to start, and then they realize these things hemorrhage money.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's because you can't just license content to have your streaming service anymore, like Netflix did to start. That's a cheap way to start things out. You need original content to bring people in. Mm-hmm. That's what costs money.
OTT.
Like Netflix can afford to give Martin Scorsese $200 million to make Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Apple did. Apple gave him the money for that.
Yeah, Apple. Yeah, that was Apple.
Money for that. Netflix could afford to write a check for $200 million. To Zack Snyder for that Rebel Moon thing.
Yeah.
Somehow that cost $200 million.
Yeah. Right.
But that's I'm sure Amazon could do the same thing, because Amazon and Apple especially have huge corporations behind them that make money hand over fist in other ways.
Going to your Apple thing, in terms of I figure they'd be a small line item. You're probably absolutely right. On the other hand, do you want to be the divisional president of Apple TV and be the guy, Apple phone guy shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, another $1 trillion with these things. Apple TV, how you doing?
How many millions have you lost today?" Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm hemorrhaging money. I need
money. But look, we're getting an Oscar because of the Scorsese movie.
How much can you sell your Oscar for?
I know. That's the thing. I know.
You asshole.
But
you think so. What you're saying absolutely makes sense. But you know how these corporations are, man. More.
Because you got to think Apple, with the trillions of dollars they already make, you don't get into the TV production business now, the streaming service now, to make money.
Yeah, right.
now,
Yeah.
like right now
Yeah.
to do it, you
Right.
know, because as we've seen, history has dictated that if you're a streaming service with original programming, you're going to lose money,
Hemorrhage. Oh my God.
hemorrhage money. So either you
It's
do
like
it
Eddie
just to do
Guerrero
prestige
and
stuff,
JBL.
you do it just to do the prestige stuff because you like having that in your portfolio. And Apple TV's got some. This has gone way off talking about wrestling, but whatever. You know, they got Killers of the Flower Moon. They got Severance is a great show.
Yeah, right.
They got all
yeah.
sorts of stuff that's Ted Lasso that
There-
has
hey,
a large
honestly,
fan
there-
base that's critically acclaimed.
Speaking of Apple TV, hold on a second. There was this right here. What is this from? Oh, Wired had this headline 1 month ago. Apple TV Plus is the new HBO. You know, they're coming
Prestige
up.
television. Yeah.
Hey, you got to check out Silo. Silo's really good too. On
Okay,
Apple
I'll check
TV.
that out. I'll
Silo's
check that
fucking. It's got kind of a Fallout vibe to it. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Rebecca
I think I've heard
Ferguson
of
is
that.
the lead. Yeah, she's it's really good.
And you know, as you see with like Warner Brothers, just today with the Rooster Teeth news,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, you have these legacy production companies that financially are not on solid ground. I mean,
Yeah, right.
Warner Brothers might be the worst case of you know the old traditional media companies, but you know, you have Paramount who have their thing that you know they got CBS amongst other channels. They seem itching to merge Paramount with another streaming service, probably because it'll help save them money
Yeah, sure,
in terms
absolutely.
of production costs, especially if you connected with a company like Apple, who
Yeah.
seemingly has endless means to produce whatever,
Yeah, man, these freaking phones, man, trillions of dollars.
trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
apparently Netflix has somehow occupied a middle ground where they're not owned by a larger, huge company like Amazon or Apple, and maybe just because they kind of got out of the gates first with the whole streaming business.
They seem to be real. They were really super savvy with a lot of their, starting off with that scumbag Kevin Spacey's House of Cards or whatever it was called, which was a good show for the first couple seasons. But yeah, the idea of like streaming original content, they were first out the gate, and man, oh man, like they're a juggernaut. They absolutely are.
Yeah,
Got
they
that
are.
Stranger Things money. Anyways, let's talk about Stranger Things, like Darby Allin jumping off of higher and higher things. Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso has some details on the planning for the Sting retirement match, specifically the insane bump Darby Allin took off a ladder, falling through a pane of glass onto the floor. As everybody was talking about. Barrasso writes
Everybody is
this.
talking about, was it too dangerous? Was it too much?
Oh, dear. Multiple people confirmed, Barrasso writes. That was the one spot Darby wanted above all. There was a plan B with a different finish in the event he could not return to the match. Pause. This is me. They discussed the possibility of Darby not being able to get up from that spot.
It seems a distinct possibility, so I'd hope they discuss it.
I'm
He's
glad
fallen
that they're
20
at least
feet from a
aware
ladder.
of that.
Yeah, no, 20 feet off a ladder through a pane of glass onto, an inch or two of padding onto a concrete floor?
Yeah.
There's several major injuries you'd think could occur simultaneously with that spot.
Yeah. Barrasso continues. So he says, which turned out that plan B to be no more than a precaution. Once it was determined that Darby would make the jump, safety measures were applied. A rehearsal occurred earlier than usual in the day, and a stunt coordinator instructed how to place the items and reviewed the proper protocols. There were also nearby doctors anticipating the spot, and they were on high alert. And had Darby not been able to return to the match, the Bucks were prepared to call an alternate finish. We'll pause there really quick. Given the Sammy Guevara, Jeff Hardy thing, I don't have a whole ton of confidence in those doctors, but I'm glad at least that they were on high alert and they had a stunt coordinator go through with the safest possible way to do this.
Yeah.
jump.
I mean, it seems like they took some precautions. Did you read up? I think this is Dave Belster talking about the Guevara suspension as relates to the Jeff Hardy thing, and that the ref was apparently on it, said, all right, let's wrap the match up, possible concussion. And the issue was that Sammy, rather than just like covering him or rolling him up or something, hit his finish, which is potentially a blow to the head.
Yeah, right.
And that was the issue.
Okay.
And that's why Sammy was suspended as opposed to anybody else in the ringside area for not following protocols.
I
think Dave said that.
That's like the first, because I'd heard that too. Not the part about the ref knowing about it and saying, let's wrap it up, and then Sammy going through with the finish anyways. That's the first time I've heard of a wrestler, and it might not be the first time it happened, but it's the first time I heard of a situation like that where the ref seemingly didn't have. I mean, this is kind of mind blowing to me that in that situation where clearly he's got a concussion,
or at least possible given the blow.
He's in the protocol at that point.
Yeah,
there isn't the communication between ref and wrestler on how explicitly to get this done. Like, yeah, I mean, if there was, and Sammy simply ignored him and went for the move anyways, boy, oh boy, that's crazy. And I guess the suspension is totally warranted in that case.
I guess you also have to ask the question, are wrestlers briefed? Do they have, like a class they sit through where, if something like this happens in a match and the ref says, all right, concussion protocol, wrap it up, the safest way to do so. You think, all right, just cover the guy.
Yeah.
Ref will count the pinfall. Done. Rather than have to perform another move, which could potentially risk further injury.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is that information that's relayed to the wrestlers, not in the middle of the match?
Yeah.
Because if they have to sit through some sort of orientation, go through the entire concussion protocol, so everybody is aware. All right, if this happens, if the ref gives word to the back, all right, someone's got their bell rung, and they say, all right, wrap it up. You just lay on the guy and cover. That would be the safest way.
I mean, dude, in wrestling, I really doubt that there's some sort of, especially with AEW, which is a sort of like a big budgeted, it kind of comes off sometimes like a big budgeted indie deal, where, I feel like you're supposed to know that stuff. Like, hey, ref says he's in concussion protocol right now. Don't do the finish where it's like kind of an elaborate finish. It's not like he's got a chokehold or something. You know what I mean?
Well, it's elaborate finish that leads potentially to a knee to the head.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. And then you still take a pretty big bump from there.
Yeah.
Where your head could hit the thing. So
yep.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I'm kind of sort of curious, like what the actual deal is there. But anyways, Barrasso confirmed that Tony Khan and the Young Bucks pushed for Sting to end his career as a winner, stating, but for those involved in the construction of the match, including CEO, GM, head of creative Tony Khan, it was imperative that Sting win. One of the only dissenting voices about the finish was Sting. He preferred to give the moment and momentum to the Young Bucks, who he holds in extremely high esteem. But that simply was not going to happen, as Khan and the Bucks, who are executive vice presidents in the company, EVP trigger, all firmly believe that Sting should end his career with a victory. End quote. I'm so glad that was the one thing that they didn't let him do, because it was masterful, a wonderful send-off for Sting. Shouldn't have gone any other way. Even, I'll be honest, man, even the Darby spot, like, I do have a hard time sometimes watching that stuff because I don't want to see these young fellas hurt themselves. That being said, people can hurt themselves any number of ways in the wrestling ring, doing the most mundane things, like, for example, jumping into the crowd at a celebration or doing a suicide dive. That being said, Darby's a grown-ass adult, and he knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He seemingly has a very high tolerance, and you can only hope that he understands that, at some point, he will probably need to alter his style and focus more on the story, on his storytelling ability, as opposed to these daredevil stunts.
Or rather than changing his style, he just stops wrestling at a certain point,
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the one thing that I'm kind of not a fan of. And again, I know he's a grown adult, but like Jeff Hardy, who in his, late 40s now is still prone to do some of that stuff sometimes. Yeah. And I'm like, you did your part. You did your part for King and Country. Yep. You don't need to do any more.
Nope.
And because we know it's not good for you.
Yeah.
When you're young and, as Sting says, a risk taker, Mankind was doing the same thing. Probably, what was he, like in his early to mid 30s?
Early mid 30s, maybe, yeah. Getting thrown off Hell in a Cell, yeah.
Yeah. And again, he was the guy, and look at Mick Foley now. I'm sure it probably hurts to get up, but he said he wants to do another death match. So,
get cleared for that, honestly.
some people are just built different. They're wired different. Their bodies are different. And I'll be honest with you, what Darby's got coming up with this Mount Everest climb, man, I don't know if I sent you. I know I sent it to Dope. I don't know if I sent it to both of you, but there's like I was like a 3-minute video or so that I saw on
is it
Twitter.
the little bridge you got to cross?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think, there's like a whole video where it's like climbing Mount Everest isn't just climbing Mount Everest. It's a whole, like, there's like these vast, like, drop-offs that you have to put this thin little ladder across. Hope that thing stays. And then you got to walk past like dead bodies. Oh, that's tough.
Harrowing.
That's a good word right there.
Harrowing.
The Terror.
The Terror, yes.
You should watch the first season of The Terror, too. Talk about prestige television. That first season is really good.
That was on Netflix, wasn't it?
I think it was an AMC show. Oh. So whatever that ended up on, I think it was on Hulu.
Gotcha. There's so many of these streaming services. I lose track of what's on what.
I know.
Anyways, I'm not going to lose track of where Jack Perry's going to be going in New Japan, because he's firmly, seemingly, at least after what happened last night during one of the New Japan Cup shows, House of Torture.
Whoa.
So he had a match. There we go. He had a match against Shota Umino. And I think it must be the first round of New Japan Cup action. Ren Narita helped him get the W afterwards. Jack Perry officially put on the shirt. He's in House of Torture. As we said in the beginning of the show, this is both the best and worst option.
Yeah.
Apparently, House of Torture's pretty popular in Japan.
I love it. I love that. That's great.
And I guess the sentiment amongst the New Japan audience is that it was relatively well received.
Okay, well, good. I think that, you know what, man, the more, because I was pretty shocked at this, but I was pleasantly shocked. Mm-hmm. Man, this kid has needed a personality for a long time, and if his personality ends up being piece of shit, that's great. That's awesome. The Crimea River, it's real glass stuff. He gets shipped to New Japan as punishment, like his curtain call punishment. He gets shipped to New Japan, and they stick him in House of Torture. I think that's great. I think it's awesome.
If nothing else is going to test his mettle,
Yeah, sure.
Because House of Torture is a very specific thing.
It is.
It's wildly over the top, super overbooked. Mm-hmm. Nonsense for the most part.
Yeah,
and when
absolutely.
done right, it's actually pretty funny and relatively comedic.
When done wrong, it's unwatchable.
Yes. So, it doesn't take much for it to go from relatively comedic to utterly unwatchable.
Is it possible that his first match back in AEW is going to be at Forbidden Door as part of House of Torture?
Could be.
We
were just talking. We were doing some Friendo Club wrestling stuff about the downtimes that the Forbidden Door pay-per-view might be on. But we got stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Jack Perry, who has seemingly been exiled from AEW, joins up with House of Torture in New Japan, only to come back at Forbidden Door with a massive chip on his shoulder. I mean, at this point, Forbidden Door is going to be carried by whatever stories they can tell on the show.
Yeah. Is it going to be House of Torture?
Aren't there like they were.
Is it going to be, and it might be for the best. I mean, if we get House of Torture versus like Bullet Club Gold, that could be kind of intriguing, kind of interesting. Or House of Torture versus Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club War Dogs.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of kind of weird, interesting things, because there's some weird shit going on in New Japan right now as they rebuild. Dude, we can get Matt Riddle at the Forbidden Door because he's currently their TV
global champion.
Oh, global. No, Nemeth is the global champion.
Is global. Yeah, he's TV champ.
Riddle's the TV champion. There could be a lot of weird things going on at Forbidden Door, which oftentimes can be the cool shit. You can
have Nick Nemeth wrestling his brother,
Nemeth. Brother.
We don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable, and there could be interesting results because of it.
Yeah, man. What we do know, though, is that we've got bonus episodes if that's what you guys want. Yesterday, we dropped a new episode of FriendoCast. It's FriendoCast number 10, but it's only the 9th episode.
Only the 9th one we've done.
And I think this week we'll probably do episode 5.
All right.
We'll
cool.
find a clever way to sort of make it episode 5, and then
It's
the
your
following
turn
week,
to come up with the topic,
I'll
right?
figure something out.
All right,
I'll
the
figure
onus
something
is
out.
on you.
All right. I like it. So yeah, new Friendo cast coming up this week, which probably means I'll put it out on Monday. I should probably, just to be honest with you, just announce that these things are going to be on Mondays now. We film them on Friday or Thursday or whatever.
Yeah.
In any event, we got a weekly bonus series. We've got access to our question threads, which we're about to read in a second here. And of course, we've got access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. I got confirmation from our Friendo shop that the exclusive prize for the Big Blue Predictions Challenge is on its way. This one that's coming now is going out to Muted Mayday. However, that prize, you guys will see what it is. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's in the mail, heading to my house. Is going to be it's going to be basically the new championship title for the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. And you could win that at the huge, giant, the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge coming up at April 1st and 2nd. And you can participate in the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge. One of two ways. A, going to youtube.com/Steven Larson. You could be there right now watching this. Clicking join to become a channel member. Or the other way you can do it, go to patreon.com/Steven Larson and choosing the Friendo Club setup. That is how you get access to the Big Blue, the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge. It's our biggest one ever. Biggest one. We own it all. We own Going in Raw. We own Friendo Club. That means we're the boss. We own it all, including the Predictions Challenge. Also,
Yes.
hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. That's the big one, the subscribe button. We want that hit.
Well, all the buttons. Not the thumbs down, but all the good buttons.
Not
Hit those,
this
please.
one. Hit
No,
the
only that
positive buttons. Right, exactly. The notify bell. Who doesn't love bells?
I mean, bells make noise. Sometimes
Yeah,
I'm
they're
not
kind
a
of
fan.
annoying. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. These are good noises, though. They're notifications that tell you there's new going in Raw.
Well, you can also, I'm sure, silence your phone so there'd be no audible notification. You just get the banner on your
Why
phone.
would they want to do that? They want to know when we're going live.
They want to know. Well, you still know visually.
I got a notification from YouTube. It's a question from our question thread. We're going to get to that in a second. But first, AEW Dynamite preview. The tunnels are back, but they're different tunnels.
They're different tones.
They're
the color palette, different.
Looks a
Harkens
bit more like
to-
a nightclub.
It does.
Yeah.
So,
Groovy
we
vibe.
had some brief discussions about it when we first saw it. And I don't know what's going to be. To a degree, they kind of have to keep the house lights down because there's a lot of empty seats in the venues.
For sure.
They really need to embrace it and have you have the ring illuminated, you have the graphics up on the stage, maybe have some hits of graphics around the venue. Otherwise, keep the house lights down.
You don't think that would make it look like nobody's there?
Steve,
Yeah.
it already looks like nobody's there.
Well, that's because nobody's there. But the idea is you want people there.
I
And
understand
if they're
that.
there, you got to show them.
To a degree, because if you show too much, you show how many empty seats are there.
It's motivation for people to work harder. I think they should do this, black light, so that you can see all the jizz stains on
I
people.
say that sounds like it's going to be a bad idea.
Yeah, blood stains and everything. Black light in the crowd. Everybody's like, oh my God, I came all over my shirt. I can't believe I did that.
I can't believe I wore this shirt to the Dynamite tonight.
I should have washed my cum shirt.
I thought I did wash it. Guess I got to wash it again.
I didn't realize I was wearing a cum rag to the show.
What if it's the old AJ Styles TNA shirt?
Yeah, right. It looks like a cum rag. The show is called Going in Raw, people.
Yeah. I mean, like the new graphic, whatever. The color palette harkens back to the early days of Dynamite. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's all like the atmosphere. The reason I'm really saying they should keep the house lights down, because I think it'd be a cooler atmosphere than having
Chill.
everything brightly illuminated. Yeah, you said
Chill.
like a nightclub. If you go to a nightclub and it's brightly lit, guess what? You're turning around and walking out.
I
Not a
hate
good
that
atmosphere.
shit. I don't know. When bars are too brightly lit, I don't like that.
Well, it's a bad atmosphere.
I like it dark.
It feels like you're in a classroom or something that's too brightly lit. You don't want that.
Yeah, but what if they bring back, what if crowds come back? Don't you want to show like the crowds?
Yeah, hear them. That's even better.
Oh, so how about this? You just pipe in noise.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
You keep the house lights down. It could be 5 people there. It could be 5,000. It could be 50,000. We don't know. Make it sound like 15. And you're in good shape.
Pretty stacked show tonight.
Of
Will
what's so far,
Ospreay,
yeah.
Will Ospreay versus his fellow Don Callis family member, not Don Callis's member. That's disgusting. Kyle Fletcher. So they're gonna fight. This is not for Pure Rules though, because he's the Pure champion, isn't he? Or is he the TV champion?
I think he's a TV champ.
Wheeler Yuta's the Pure champion.
Yes. We haven't seen Wheeler.
Where's Wheeler?
I don't know. Yuta Head's not eating good these days.
Yuta Heads are starving. Hook. The Hook Signal versus Brian Cage.
It's an FTW title match. Wonder who's going to win this one.
Here's the thing. In no universe should Brian Cage lose to Hook, because it's just not believable. That being said, Hook's going to win this match.
Also got Chris Statlander taking on Riho.
Oh, that'll be a banger.
That'll be really good.
That'll be a really good match.
And then the Young Bucks have what they're claiming is a huge announcement.
Huge announcement.
Could this relate to possible debut tonight? I don't know.
I would think it's probably with relation to the tag titles, because they want those tag titles.
Hey, we're gonna.
We've got a first round bye.
Or they should say, as EVPs, we're taking the tag titles.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
They should try to do a power play.
My Nike gear has shipped. Nice.
Oh, what'd you get from Nike?
I got a sweater and a hoodie.
Oh, because they got that sale going on right now, right?
I don't know. I ordered it last Saturday. Was there a sale last Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know if it was going on last Saturday.
It was both. These were marked down. They were both marked down.
Fair.
Maybe I could have gotten them more marked down. I don't know. Marked down. Anyways, would you like to answer some questions?
Let's answer some questions.
Jonathan Vieira wants to know, are we going to do separate reviews for each night of the WrestleMania, or do one review for both nights? No, why do one? We could do two.
Yeah, same with predictions. Do you think we're going to do one predictions video for WrestleMania? No. Night 1 and night 2.
Do.
Double up the revenue. Chris
More
Stanton
views,
says,
more revenue. We're like Apple TV. We're trying to get that revenue.
Exactly. Chris Stanton here says, what if The Rock is keeping his thumb out because he's acknowledging Solo?
Oh, well, no, he only views Solo as the national anthem guy.
Yeah, he's the vocalist, the singer.
Yeah, right.
Of the bloodline.
Yeah, no. John and Alistair voice. John. Says, as a fellow grunge guy, which of these following songs would you give as themes to wrestlers / factions?
All right.
Oh man, he's got some good ones here.
All right.
Your favorite Soundgarden song, 4th of July.
Oh, that's so good.
Who'd you give 4th of July to? Don Callis family, because it sort of starts out like a Brown.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's
okay. How about this? It's sort of it's the super group, of course. Audio Slave, Roots and Grunge with Chris Cornell as the singer.
Yeah.
Cochise.
Wow, what a good song.
That's their first song was their best song was their first one.
By far. It's not even close.
Well, I've been watching since I've been watching.
What is Charlie Dempsey's faction in NXT?
No quarter catch, guys.
Yeah.
It's something like that. I think I got 3 of the words. Quarter catch crew. I think it's crew.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, they're kind of dorky. I like Dempsey though.
Yeah,
I want to watch NXT because of Dempsey. I love that last night him and Regal in that spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know, I could defend this better than you ever could. Fee fi fo fum. Oh, I love that. That was so good, man.
That's so good. All right, what other songs are on there?
And then the other one, I think you're not a huge fan of this one, Rooster.
Oh, of Alice in Chains?
Yeah.
I have no problem with Rooster. It's on Dirt. Of course I like it.
Well, there was another one where you're like, I'm not really into that song. Man on the Box?
Yeah, Man in the Box. That's in the previous album. That's the first. I'm not really into that. That's off Facelift. I'm not into that one so much.
Gotcha. Okay. I knew it was one of those two.
Rooster.
Yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. Yeah. It's not the most like high energy song. It's more
What about
just
Darby?
pure. Oh, that's good. That's good. I like it. All good choices.
There we
Well,
go.
Cochise can go to a better.
That just popped in my head.
No, that's good. No quarter catch crew. They need a song of some sort.
Didn't Brooks Jensen have Journey Separate Ways once for a non-televised match? They
I thought that was awesome. That was really cool.
Trying out the licensed music a little bit more.
I think that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. Cochise, man. You know who I'd give Cochise to? You got to mix it up a little bit. He's had this theme since day one. Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Well, I've been wandering.
All right.
That's not even a lyric.
Sounds close enough. First question here from Brendan Monroe, at least it's hashtag first, says, in hindsight, what will be a better period of the Bloodline story, Sammy's or The Rock's?
What would be... Oh, wow. Oh, it's Sammy's. Sammy's is S-tier Bloodline story era.
S-tier pro wrestling storytelling.
That might be the best story of all time in pro wrestling. God.
I don't think that's no. I advise you not to do it in that context.
It's so good. At some point, are you going to like, if I'm going to use it in the proper context, will you please say that is an appropriate context with which
yes,
to use it?
I will give you the validation you crave. Yes.
Okay. All right. Tequila Mocking-Turd says, if you could summon all the AEW and WWE tribalists to a peace summit, what would you have catered for lunch?
Well, something that unifies us all, Steve, from a culinary standpoint.
Bro, if it's not Popeyes, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, we'll know who the real ones are because y'all will be down with Popeyes.
That's true.
And the ones who are like, ew, I don't want that, I'd be like, you're not a wrestling fan. Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Popeyes that's the A tier. That's S tier fucking fast food right there.
It is.
All right. Yeah.
No,
Not there either? Okay.
No. The Pun Hit Wonder says, what other songs do you want to hear Solo sing at WrestleMania?
Oh, you got the national anthem. Where is it? It's going to be in Philadelphia. The Eagles.
Yeah. The Eagles fight song?
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
There you go. But then also, he gets a little confused, so we start singing some actual Eagles song.
Oh,
like,
that'd be good.
take it easy.
Peaceful, easy feeling.
Peaceful. Oh, I love that song. It's like, what is your S tier Eagles song?
Oh, One of These Nights.
One of these.
That's the only Eagles song that comes on the radio. I won't change it.
Ooh, loving this is
It's a really good song.
It's a really good song. I was listening to their greatest hits album at the gym the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The issue is I've heard a lot of Eagles in my life, and some of it's way overplayed for me.
Because your dad was S tier Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was mostly just the Hotel California album, so I know that album backwards and forward.
Did Dad Larson ever rock like band shirts?
No. Never.
My dad didn't until later in life. Yeah. He got really into band shirts. When he started rocking the camo cargo shorts, that's when he started rocking the band shirts.
Band shirts too.
Yeah. Dave Matushak says, with Bull Nakano going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I know. Isn't that great?
That's great.
Triple H doing God's work. What other Japanese wrestlers who are not inducted yet should get the spotlight before induction? Wait, what? Should get the spotlight before induction. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
What other Japanese wrestlers should get inducted? Tanahashi, because then you forge a relationship with New Japan Professional Wrestling.
I guess so, yeah.
And then then they could do a WWE Forbidden Door.
Okay.
I don't use silly nicknames like doors and stuff.
About Tajiri? Tajiri was awesome.
That's really good. That's a good one, yeah. About Taka Michinoku.
There you go, yeah.
He had time there.
What about Dick Togo?
Even better. And again, you're bridging WWE and WWE and New Japan.
New Japan, yes.
Yeah.
Payday says, if every current WWE wrestler retired today, no more roster, they're all retired.
Oh, wow.
Who would you say is 100% a Hall of Famer? 100%.
Oh, come on.
Roman, Seth, Becky, Charlotte, Bailey.
Yeah. I mean,
Kevin Owens,
Bianca's already there.
Bianca, Kofi, probably the New Day, Usos.
Yeah, Usos. Rhea Ripley's already there.
Yeah,
She's
probably
already there. Yeah. Hell, at this point, Dom's probably there. Let's see here. Wrestling is real says, how can WWE get over DIY? We are. New theme song, number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ciampa should not be trying to get the crowd to cheer for him.
Okay. Here's the thing. This question, I think, is probably specifically aimed at us. They are over. The crowd likes DIY. Yeah. They come out there and they get hella cheered. They put on phenomenal matches. It's just Ciampa kind of comes off like a corny asshole.
A dork.
Thank you.
That's dork.
The nicer way of saying it. I called him
as
an
a dork.
Yeah, he comes off as a dork. Yeah, but they're over, man. People like them.
They are.
So I guess don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about.
No. Alex Foster says, if Steven Larson joined the D'Angelo family, what would your roles be, and what would your mafia nicknames be?
Did you
see the lawyer?
See? The lawyer.
The lawyer.
The consigliere now.
Yes, they got their, what was Robert Duvall's name in? Tom
Hagen.
Yes.
Hey, Tom Hagen. I don't know why I did a Von Wagner.
I don't know why either.
I was trying to do a Michael Corleone instead of turning to Von Wagner.
If Von Wagner has a story with the D'Angelo family and calls their lawyer.
Yeah. Tom. Hey, Tom Hagen. You gonna go to the woods with me and Kyle O'Reilly?
So they got their lawyer. They got the underboss.
Mm-hmm. Stacks.
With Stacks.
They got the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know her name.
What would our roles be?
Our roles? Oh yeah. Okay, geez, dude.
Well, I think your name would be Long Boy because you love the chicken sandwiches so much.
I love the chicken sandwiches. Yeah. So hey, Long Boy says you sleep with the fishes. That's good. That actually sounds really cool. So I'd be an enforcer type.
There you go.
Yeah, Long Boy says you sleep with the fishes.
Name me. I gave you your name. Now you have to name me.
Your numbers. You run the gambling racket there for them.
All right.
That's good. Yeah, and then if somebody doesn't pay up, guess what? I'm sending Long Boy over here. Not Long Boy.
Go. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I hear the name Long Boy. Full soil.
Exactly. Oh, Long Boy. Hey, it's okay. You can outrun him.
He's not that good of a shot either.
He's not that good of a shot, and he's a fat piece of shit. Why are you telling me this, numbers? I don't like to see people get hurt. Okay. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.